Hey, welcome back to the channel. Thanks for stopping by. Got this Expedition here. Complained of no four-wheel drive, which is a no bueno deal with the first snow of the year and lots of ice. So people are coming out of the woodwork with all sorts of issues like this. Funny how that works. So, I have no idea what's going on. And find out. So, it's in the two-wheel drive position currently. And I'm going to switch it to 4 high. We have a 4 high indicator on the dash. As you can see, 4 high. So let's see. See what the tires do. Looks like the tires are not spinning in the front, so that's a problem. I wonder with the 4 high illuminated on the dash if it is a front axle actuator issue causing this. So we'll pull it in on the drive-on rack here. Take a little look-see. Watching the Car Doctor channel. This, as soon as the 4x is engaged, it spins the front drive shaft and spins the diff, and that's all locked in, but this has these auto hubs, but typically they're engaged when there's no vacuum and they're disengaged when there is vacuum, I believe is the way it goes. So but over the summer, I guess it's possible that they get stuck in the unlock position. We'll just have to jack the front end up. We'll probably jack all 4 up and try to operate the 4x and see what happens. So this is a 12,000 pound open front rotary 4-post hoist, and I have these rolling bridge jacks that roll along the frame for lifting individual axles. Let's raise this up. Wheels can spin. Go ahead and raise the back up as well. Okay, I have my beautiful assistant who's gonna operate the vehicle while we raise it up so we can see what is going around. All right, now you see why I don't have her on camera. Starting off just by flipping off the camera. There's no respect, guys, but sometimes we have to have our assistants help. It's just the way things are. All right, go ahead, start it up.
Might lift it up.
Yep.
Okay.
Just let off the brake. We have a problem.
What?
Go ahead and turn it off. Okay, definitely, Houston, we have a problem. So that noise was definitely alarming and indicates that something's going on in the right front hub assembly. So this is that integrated wheel-in system. Where it's backwards of most 4x operation. When vehicles in 4-wheel drive vacuum, there's no vacuum to the front hubs and they engage. And then when 2x is engaged, it applies vacuum and releases the hubs. It sounds like either the hub is getting a little bit of vacuum and it's kind of wanting to lock in, and somewhere in between is just kind of or there's a problem with the hub. So what I'm going to do in this case, here's the wheel-in solenoid. This is what switches and applies vacuum when you're in 2x mode and then releases vacuum in 4x mode. So what I'm going to do is just connect the vacuum side, which is the bottom one. And then I'm gonna just put my vacuum gauge here and connect it to the port, which would normally go to the wheel end. I could also go right down to the hub and put a vacuum gauge on there as well, but I'm trying to do this while holding my video camera. Okay, so in 2-wheel drive, you should have, a complete 12 volts across this. One side is, you got 12 volts, and the other side gets grounded when you switch into 2-wheel drive. And then in 4-wheel drive, you should lose the ground, and the solenoid would not be energized. But I'm just curious, is the solenoid kind of stuck halfway in between? So we'll start it up and we'll find out if it produces any vacuum. Still got it in 4x. We have no vacuum. Not a vacuum problem. And just to make sure, I'll go ahead and put it back in drive, see if we continue to have that hub noise. Sounds terrible. We still have the hub noise with vacuum completely disconnected. So we know the vacuum solenoid is functioning properly, and with no vacuum supplied, we know that it's not a vacuum related issue. We have a bad hub. The wheel end hub is bad, barring a problem with the bearing or something like that. We'll find out if we pull it apart. Pull the hubcap. Okay, we're back here. I had to put some fires out, literally. I had a Subaru backfire, and the K&N filter erupted into flames and smoked this place out. It was crazy. So anyway, it's locked up now. So we decided to engage today. But since that's an intermittent issue, I'm going to go ahead and pull it apart. We're going to look inside the hub. A couple things to note. I always use quality hub assemblies. Using a Moog in this case. National, I guess some of you guys use Timken bearings down the Rust Belt. But anyway, use quality parts, and remember this, it may be more than the hub. If you've got water inside of it, it could be that inner seal that's leaking and allowing water in there. You also have to have a good seal on the inside, sealing around the drive shaft, so that the vacuum operation works properly as well. If you have a slight vacuum leak there, you're gonna potentially have an issue where, especially under acceleration, you kind of lose a little vacuum, manifold vacuum kicks down, and then potentially it'll start engaging this wheel end as you're accelerating when it's supposed to be in two-wheel drive. So that's not the case here, but you always want to keep an eye on that if you're doing this job. So we're going to just take this apart, see what we got inside. So remove this ABS wiring, since that new hub is going to come with wiring and a sensor already attached to the replacement hub. Remove this brake hose container there, and then we'll remove the caliper knot. go ahead and try to get this rotor off here. Set that aside. The 4 bolts on the back side of this hub. See if this comes off now. Okay, here's what we got. This is the integrated wheel end. Here's the axle shaft, which has a splined gear on the outside, and the integrated wheel end is vacuum operated. So when a vacuum is applied, it sucks this gear back in, and so that no longer engages in the gear on the end of the hub, and allows the hub to freewheel. And then when vacuum is released, it springs back out. However, it's not springing back out like I feel like it should. It seems like the spring may be broke inside there. It's barely coming out enough to engage. I feel like it should come out a little bit further. And to be honest, the gear face is worn down enough to where I think that and a combination of worn gears on the end of the hub is causing this issue. So I'm going to replace the integrated wheel end and the hub assembly and get this thing back on the road. The integrated wheel end has the seal in it, and that drives onto the end of the axle shaft first and then installs into the knuckle. Okay, we're going to replace the wheel end, integrated wheel end as well, which requires basically we're going to have to remove the outer axle shaft, or in this case I'm going to drop the knuckle and just try to get the axle shaft out, pop the wheel end off, and looks like we're going to use a Dorman part. I can't believe it. I really don't want to do that, but Ford won't even answer their phone, and it's just a mess. So we're going to give this a try. You know, hey, if this video is up like 2 years from now and you're curious if it held up, just drop me a message. It's a friend of mine, so I guess now you know how I treat my friends, but we'll know, you know, if it fails. I stand behind my work for a limited period of time, but we'll know if it holds up. You know, maybe it's as good or better than the original, maybe. And you know, if it does fail, Dorman will probably send you a hat or a t-shirt or something, size small t-shirt. Make it up to you if you got to redo this whole job. But anyway, let's pull this wheel end off of here. Here's our integrated wheel end. This is where the vacuum is applied, and the second one is a vent side to release vacuum. It's just a filtered vent side. And there's the seal and the gears. That's all there is to it. So we'll get our Dorman part and clean things up and slap it in. Okay, we got our Dorman part. Let's see what this looks like. Love me some Dormans. Okay. There she be, nice and shiny, exciting. Yeah, so our depth is way different. Way different. So this original has collapsed and it's not extending fully compared to the replacement, which sits up a good 1/8 inch higher. Don't know exactly why, but it's a broken spring. So here's how we install these. You can compress it compress it, and then put a vacuum cap that holds it compressed. We'll do that. So we compress it. And we install it on the vehicle. I'm going to put a little Loctite on my fasteners. And just a little bit of grease on my axle shaft. The replacement part is got some lube on it, so just lubing the sealing surface a little bit, so we're good there. Now we just take our replacement unit and stick it on the end of the axle shaft. So, there we go, and reinstall. Okay, now we'll put our hub on. I like to put a little Loctite on my hub retaining bolts. Doesn't really call for it, but anything that holds your wheel on other than your lug nuts. I like putting a little insurance policy on there. Also, don't forget there's a little O-ring that's on this hub. It's of course supplied with the new hub. It was already on there, but if you're not replacing the hub, then make sure your O-ring's good or replace it. Food for thought. Okay, we'll go ahead and torque the hub bolts. Remove our vacuum cap. Make sure it locks in. I'm going to reinstall my upper ball joint. Now we'll torque our hub to knuckle bolts, and in this case it's 148 foot-pounds. And upper ball joint, 111 foot-pounds. I'm going to plug my vacuum hose back in. Then we'll reinstall the brake rotor and caliper. Oh, almost forgot. Got this bolt here. Removed to fish my ABS sensor wiring. Now I can install the rotor. Caliper. ABS wiring. Goes right there. Okay, now we'll just install and torque our wheel. Beautiful. Well, just need to take this one for a test drive and make sure we're engaged in 4x. I know we are because it locked up immediately, so we are good to go. Successful repair. Thank you, Dorman. Appreciate it. Thanks for standing behind your parts. We appreciate you. And thank you, the viewer, for watching the Car Doctor channel. Really appreciate it. Thanks for all the encouragement and the likes and subscriptions. Appreciate it. And I will see you again soon, hopefully. Hope this video was helpful. Have a good one. Take care. Lots of lights here. Never have enough light.
I need Dorman.
I walk